This is exactly the kind of movement suitable for using the trend-based Fibonacci extension. An initial trend, pullback, then continuation. That is roughly going to be the same distance as the first portion of the trend before the pullback. Essentially, that first part of the trend, which could be called the base trend, defines the Fibonacci proportions from that 0 to 1 range you might be familiar with from the Fibonacci retracement. And ideally, the pullback would be around 2 retracement levels, so roughly 0.382. Another highly preferable feature is that the pullback is price retracing and confirming the role reversal of a major level or range. In this case, price broke over prior resistance around the 30 boundary, which it is now holding as support as the trend continues higher. As the trend continues higher, those Fibonacci levels from 0 to 1 will resist price, but they will be minor bearish retracements. And ideally, price will eventually contact 1, going that full length of the base trend. And if it's a really strong trend, eventually price will break higher and head for the 1.618 area. Next is an example that shows similar movement, except the role reversal of previous resistance to support isn't contacted directly at the center. And the first part of the trend, which the Fibonacci ratios will be based on, is much faster and less stable compared to the portion after surpassing resistance, which is comparatively slower and more stable. This kind of movement can appear on all types of charts, but is more common on ETFs and indices, which is why this example incidentally uses the price chart of the Russell 2000 ETF. Another thing this demonstrates is a case where price does not go the full length of the base trend. Because it does not contact the one level to go that full same length as the original portion of the trend that the 0 to 1 range of the Fibonacci numbers are based on. Now you may say that price could eventually go up one more retracement level to make up that distance, and that very well could be the case in the future. But if you look back here, you see that it is possible for a very similar situation, where there's a clean start to a trend, a minor pullback, then price does not go that full same length of the trend, but goes quite close, usually just falling short by 1 Fibonacci level. Also, if there are multiple swing points, like these 2 upswing points, at the end range of the pullback area, you do try to choose the lowest price, but usually doesn't make that much of a difference, since the swing points will be roughly around the same level, since they're holding that role reversal in this case, holding support, which was previous resistance, with the 2 upswing points roughly around the same level. Then even as price later moves below and above our original range, a lot of the levels, especially 1 and 1.618, are still quite relevant. Here's an example on a larger scale, with a long-term continuation and much more volatility. It's such a strong movement that in fact, the 2.618 level is reached, which is not as common. And later, when price does retrace back down for a much sharper pullback in the long-term context, that one level becomes quite an important support area. We can actually then keep the trend-based Fibonacci extension with its first point at the same point, and just move point 2 and 3 to cover that more recent pullback at its high and low. And this produces very good results, considering the high bullish volatility during another major long-term continuation. It's also possible to combine the trend-based Fibonacci extension with the trend-based Fibonacci time tool, which will often be based on the exact same points. In this case, it produces very good results, having that important intersection up at the most recent peak. For more on the trend-based Fibonacci time tool, check out the link in the description or pinned comment. Here's a slightly different scenario, where a trend is getting started, but it's not breaking through major historic resistance, but it's a continuation nonetheless. And applying a Fibonacci extension does reveal some major levels, though it's not the only option, and using a Fibonacci retracement based on the prior trend can reveal similar significant ranges, along with just referencing past swing points to find the resistance. Now, as price reverses down again, it's a much more significant retracement. So if we do apply a Fibonacci extension, it's not as ideal because of the deeper retracement. When price does start pressuring more significant resistance in the long-term context, it's better to extend points 2 and 3 to a more recent and higher downswing in a situation like this, where there are minor to moderate retracements, not like the deeper retracement seen earlier. Now, as we see that role reversal, with this range now offering vital support to falling price, there is a potential descending triangle forming to drive lower. So we can apply the trend-based Fibonacci extension, just like we've been doing, but now in a bearish context for a potential downtrend continuation. In this kind of scenario, we use the first swing point in the continuation range. In this case, it's the first upswing in the potential descending triangle range. And eventually, price does indeed travel the same price range as the initial part of the downtrend where there's noticeable support. But this turns out to be a large-scale downtrend, and the fall continues much lower. Nonetheless, along the way, there will be slowdown around those lower extension levels. And even though there wasn't any major bullish reversal when falling onto the 1.618 extension level in the upper 60s, it did indeed become a major resistance area recently, presenting quite the obstacle to the current uptrend. Going back up to the beginning of the large-scale downtrend, we can apply the element of time with the trend-based Fibonacci time tool, which will again use the same points as the trend-based Fibonacci extension. The results aren't picture perfect, as is so often the case in the real world, but we do get a rough idea of the period when support could be stronger to slow the fall and potentially produce minor to moderate retracements. The Fibonacci timelines would be much more effective near the start, and more importantly, be more relevant for the main event that was the descending triangle. In fact, many of the intersections highlight key continuations, upswings and downswings, during that pattern's completion to really cement and accelerate the fall after the earlier peak.